Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're here to celebrate a milestone in our sustainability efforts as a county. But before we get started, I'd like to welcome the elected officials and community leaders who've joined us. Commissioner Trevor and Commissioner Aguilar. Jamie Myers, who's Deputy Bureau Chief of Asset Management. Deb Stone, who's our Director of the Department of Environment and Sustainability. I want to thank you all for joining us and for your support. I'm proud to announce the county's first ever power purchase agreement. This represents a huge step toward our goal of using 100% renewable electricity in Cook County's buildings by 2030. Starting in March of 2025, Cook County's portfolio will receive approximately 24%, about a quarter, of its electricity from a new off-site solar project. The Double Black Diamond Solar Project, as it's called, is located in Morgan and Sangamon counties, which is around Springfield, and is expected to be one of the largest solar projects in the country. In the first year of this agreement, the energy generator will cover 100% of the electricity at 18 Cook County buildings. This includes health clinics, office buildings, highway maintenance facilities, public safety buildings, and warehouses. To contextualize this, let me just say that's the equivalent of powering 4,733 single-family homes for 1 year. The agreement will span 12 years with the ability to add new buildings to the project as energy use is further reduced. The agreement also secures support for skills development in solar and energy efficiency jobs, which will prepare people for careers and futures in the green energy industry. We also have secured components of environmental biodiversity and pollinator habitat protection at the solar site. By requiring partners to include these broader positive impacts, we ensure that this agreement acts as a catalyst for positive change. Finally, when we talk about sustainability, we also have to think about financial sustainability and responsibility. This agreement allows the county to secure a fixed energy price for 12 years, which provides budget stability in a time when energy prices have been volatile and may continue to be more unstable in the future. All of this would not be possible without trusted, best-in-class partners at every level. I'd like to thank Swift Current, the solar developer responsible for the system, Constellation, the energy retail supplier, and Amoresco, our energy procurement consultant. Joining us today is Jenny Herlash, Director of Regional Sales for Constellation, Patrick Livernoy, Senior Business Development Manager, Daniel Sheehan, Lead Developer of the Double Diamond Project. I want to thank all of you for your support and leadership. I'd also like to thank our team at Asset Management, Bureau Chief Elizabeth Granato, who's here, Deputy Bureau Chief of Operations Jamie Myers, who you'll hear from momentarily, Energy Analyst Kate Buckzek, for their hard work in reaching this agreement. Lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the support and assistance throughout this process from the Bureau of Administration. In particular, Deborah Stone, our Director of the Department of Environment and Sustainability, Sarah Edwards, Sustainability Program Manager, Deb Kutska, Environment and Sustainability Initiatives Program Manager, and Sam Malaro, Industrial Engineer. Thank you all. And now I'd like to turn it over to Jamie Myers, Deputy Bureau Chief for Asset Management, to share a few words. Jamie.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Jamie Myers, Deputy Bureau Chief in the Bureau of Asset Management, and I'm excited to be here at the announcement of our first contract for off-site renewable energy. 31 days over 110 degrees in Phoenix, tens of millions across the country under excessive heat warnings, and numerous days of air quality alerts from Canadian wildfires right here in Chicago, including one day when we had the worst air quality in the entire world. The impacts of climate change are in the headlines and our neighborhoods more and more frequently. The public sector has a responsibility to mitigate these impacts. Under the leadership of President Preckwinkle, Cook County released its Clean Energy Plan in 2020. The plan emphasizes the importance of reducing climate change impacts for Cook County operations as much as we can, as fast as we can. And the announcement of today's agreement is a strong step for supporting the clean energy plan and shifting away from fossil fuel use. Along with Cook County's clean energy reduction and greenhouse gas emission reduction goals, sourcing renewable energy to meet building electricity needs highlights Cook County's commitment to mitigating climate impacts. Cook County's clean energy plan has 3 goals for county-owned and operated facilities. 1, to have a carbon reduction of 45% by 2030 from a 2010 baseline. 2, to be carbon neutral by 2050. And finally, to use 100% renewable energy for electricity by 2030. To date, Cook County has made significant progress towards these goals through the implementation of the Clean Energy Plan for its portfolio of buildings, resulting in a 44% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions through the end of 2022. This close. This significant reduction in greenhouse gas emissions was possible through numerous partnerships and projects. Partners include the Department of Environment and Sustainability, the Department of Facilities Management, Department of Capital Planning and Policy, the Department of Real Estate Management, ROI, the Bureau of Finance, Cook County Health and Hospitals Buildings and Grounds, and our natural gas and electric utilities. These partnerships have helped us implement dozens of projects impacting the building's envelope, lighting, HVAC systems, building controls, just to name a few. Our agreement with Constellation and Swift Current Energy will make significant progress towards the county's 100% renewable electricity goal. As the President mentioned, in the first year, the agreement will cover about 24% of the county's building portfolio electricity use, or about 49,000 megawatt hours. The innovative structure of the agreement ensures that Cook County's commitment to reduce its energy will provide opportunities to add additional buildings to this agreement as energy reductions occur at our buildings. This will increase the number of buildings that will benefit from renewable energy. Mitigating climate risk is not the only benefit of this agreement. As the President mentioned, both the supplier and the solar developer have committed $432,000 over the duration of this agreement for solar and energy efficiency job training programs in Cook County. We are excited to provide an impact beyond just clean energy. Thank you, Madam President, for creating a culture that prioritizes mitigating the impact of climate change. As a professional in this industry for over 14 years, I can attest to how crucial it is to have top-down support for climate goals. That support is what leads to announcements like this and significant progress towards our climate goals. I would again like to thank all the partners involved in this, and we look forward to continuing our pursuit of our climate goals and sharing additional milestones with all of you. I'd now like to introduce Deborah Stone.
Thank you, Jamie. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm Deborah Stone. I'm Director of the Cook County Department of Environment and Sustainability. Thank you. I'm not as tall as President Preckwinkle. I'd like to thank the President again for making sustainability a key commitment of her administration since she took office. Our progress would also not have been possible without the support of county commissioners. And thank you, Commissioner Maggie Trevor and Commissioner Frank Aguilar, for being here today and for your support. I'm grateful to Jamie Myers, who's been instrumental in this project, and to our teams that Jamie already mentioned, Sarah Edwards, Deb Kutska, Sam Malaro, and Kate Buchek. Because of this partnership for the power purchase agreement, the county is one step closer to reaching its goal of using 100% renewable electricity by 2030 in county-owned buildings. This is one of the 3 main goals outlined in the county's Clean Energy Plan from 2020 to prioritize climate-related actions that are urgent, that add to what we're accomplishing, that are local, resilient, reliable, and cost-conscious. Today, we're also releasing the county's 2022 annual sustainability report that tracks the progress of the goals outlined in the Clean Energy Report and highlights other key sustainability actions the county's taking. Additional highlights from the report include not only the steady decrease in greenhouse gas emissions from county buildings since 2010, but the Fair Transit South Cook pilot program, which is completing its 2nd year of providing accessible, affordable, and equitable public transportation while reducing emissions. Helping finance a former Target retail store converted into a vertical indoor farm that will focus on pesticide-free leafy greens. Assessing 66 brownfield sites. These are abandoned or underused industrial and commercial properties with actual or perceived contamination that prevent redevelopment. and reducing plastic waste by installing more than 50 touchless water bottle filling stations in some county facilities. Another goal of the Clean Energy Plan is attaining a 45% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. And we are virtually, or as Jamie said, this close to being there way ahead of schedule, I'm proud to say. Cook County is committed to continuing to make our buildings as energy efficient as possible, which lays the groundwork for overall sustainability. And our dedication to furthering efficiency will continue even as we explore the exciting space of renewables for the remaining energy that we do use. The county has significantly increased its commitment also to sustainability of our residents, businesses, and communities. Along with existing programs that help businesses to finance energy and water efficiency programs and resiliency work, and existing programs that help residents to finance solar panels on their homes, we have committed, under the President Preckwinkle and the board's leadership, over $130 million of American Rescue Plan Act funding to help make our communities even more sustainable. A few projects the county is spearheading include installing electric vehicle charging stations in areas that lack them, that have more rental housing, lower incomes, and higher minority populations. Assessing and cleaning up even more contaminated brownfield sites to put them back on the tax rolls. Increasing recycling and helping to provide recycling services in areas that lack them, as evidenced by our opening of the Center for Hard to Recycle Materials, or CHARM Center, at South Suburban College. Helping select suburban communities develop and implement climate resiliency plans, helping businesses reduce pollution, increasing forest preserve acreage and natural area restoration work to help manage flooding in areas that need them, removing lead water service lines, and implementing nature-based green infrastructure solutions to flooding in communities located near the Calumet River. All this work, including the partnership announced today, supports President Preckwinkle's vision to address historic and continued disparities and disinvestment, particularly in Black and Latinx communities. We know that the effects of climate change in this area, including particularly extreme heat and flooding, along with the historical legacy of pollution, fall most heavily on minority and lower income communities. And as we enter into this partnership for the county's first power purchase agreement, as part of the fight against climate change, we know it's the right thing to do for equity and for the environment. Thank you. Who's next? Commissioner Trevor?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you all. Nick, do we have any questions?
Any questions in the room? No, we have one text. What is the current status of the project? Do you have a timeline you can share?
Yeah, so the question was, what is the current status of the project and what is the timeline? We know that the caissons have been installed at the project, and we expect to receive the energy attributes from the project beginning in 2025.
Once, twice. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all, and I particularly like to thank Commissioners Trevor and Aguilar for joining us. Thank you.